We've got a show.
So this is episode 1 of our WFVP podcast. We've got a show. So welcome to our first inaugural episode.
Thank you. I am honored to be here. This is cool.
Awesome. We just kind of want to look at what it takes to bring good shows, or just shows in general, I guess, to community theater, all the different parts of it. And you're the director of this show, so I think that's one of the most important parts. So I would say, give me your name, give me a little background.
Sure. My name is Zach Whitt. I am the director of this production of Lifespan of a Fact. It is a really neat play that is a wonderful conversation about the difference between fact and truth and where do we fall on those issues. And it's based off of actually a true story. Mm-hmm. The actual essay that was written, what happens there, was written by John DeGata, and what transpired was a correspondence between Jim Fingal, the fact checker, and him over all of the nuances and discrepancies that he was running into this essay. What ended up happening is what was finally printed was a book that has, in a little small box in the middle, little snippets going through the whole essay. And all around it is the annotations and the correspondence between Jim and John. Wow. And the editors. And all the compilation of that is what created this show, which is a condensed, dramatized version of that story.
Okay. So I came to rehearsal tonight and I kind of watched a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like it's a lot about what is fact over opinion, and how your opinion affects that fact, and how you convey that fact to the rest of the world or the people around you. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say that's kind of the core of the play. In the play, John, the essay, is telling this very moving story about the tragic passing of a teenager named Levi. And it's very moving, it's thought-provoking, and there's all these things that are wrong about it. Per Jim, he is doing all of this research into finding it. And the conversation becomes, well, I'm trying to get to the truth of this boy's life. And Jim says, but without the facts, does your truth hold any water? Mm-hmm. Right? So I think that's what that play is, creating that conversation. And when we are here in modern day and we are looking at, fast headlines and people shouting opinions and stating facts from different points of view, it causes you to get thinking a little bit. So that's definitely the conversation, right? What is fact versus what is truth, and how can the facts help or hurt somebody, right? There's a line in the play that John says, some people facts privilege, other people it screws over, right? Mm-hmm. And that becomes this incredible talking point. So yeah, I would say that is the case.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially I would feel like in today, I'll look up something. I look up one article and it makes me feel in one direction. I look up another article and it makes me rethink everything I just thought. And then I spend a lot of time just trying to find the actual fact behind what I'm reading about. And it's just hard to work out what you're trying to find outside of everyone's opinion. It's just because everyone has opinions today and they are flying at you left and right.
Absolutely. And to that end, it's kind of wild because you reevaluate as you look at different perspectives, different points of view. And then we dive into those facts more and more. We try and dig deeper and deeper. And that's what Jim is doing throughout the play, right? Is he is trying to dig deeper and deeper into the truth. And we start losing the story behind it, right? And I think that happens with us. We are trying to figure out what's true, that we forget about the people that it can impact in some cases.
That makes a lot of sense. I wholeheartedly agree on that. So if you're watching the video, you'll see we're sitting on the set of your show. If you're listening to the podcast, obviously you can't see that. So for the people who can't see that right now,
imagine like a football field size space. It's ornate furniture. We have replicated Las Vegas in this building.
Yes, it's the sphere. Yes, right
absolutely.
Now. We're on probably maybe 15 by 15 foot stage, maybe made out
give
of
or take
wood blocks. This is what FVP, the Fenton Village Players, calls our second stage. We do these shows in the activities room of the theater so that we can do some smaller shows. And this show, or not this show, but this location gives us the option to bring in some shows that maybe we can't do on the main stage, maybe because of lower amount of cast or certain subjects that we want to address, but it should probably be done in a more intimate setting. I love the second stage for that alone. This is your second show on second stage, correct?
Yeah, the first one I did was Exit Pursued by a Bear. It's almost 2 years ago that we did that one. That was a ton of fun. I also really like the second stage. It was always something I aspired to when I was a teenager, going to see colleges and seeing these black box theaters. That was never a thing that had occurred to me to have been there before, right? And to be able to do smaller shows, more connecting closely with the audience because they're there in it with you, was such a great concept to me. So for us to have our own version of it here, and actually deceptively versatile space, right? We've got it in a pretty standard theater setting, but we've done shows in this space that is all around the room. We've had it run along that wall here. We've done it in where there's multiple small stages around the room. We use this whole space for Taste of Broadway with a main stage in the middle, and just all the different kinds of ways we can use this space. We can use these riser blocks or not. The possibilities are so open, and I think that's what's cool about this space.
Yeah, because the limited amount of space that you have, I think, makes you have to be more creative with what you're going to do for your set. And I think that sometimes even gets the creative juices flowing for what you're going to do on stage, just alone by what you can actually do with your stage. So I've always loved the second stage. I've watched a lot of performances in this room. So I'm glad that there's just such a new current show coming to this that you're bringing to us. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited. I saw the play in New York. I actually got to see closing night on Broadway. That was really cool.
That'd be awesome.
I really enjoyed it. It had all the original Broadway cast. To name drop and be that guy, it had Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter and many other things, fame, right? Bobby Cannavale and Cherry Jones, some incredible heavy-hitting actors of stage and screen that people see all the time. And it was just a very moving play. There's some incredibly funny moments, but it really kind of gets you thinking just about how we look at the world around us. So
take me through your cast. Who do you have?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll start with our fact checker, Jim Fingal. The main character, I would argue, because he is running through the whole play. He is there from top to bottom, right? Jim Fingal is played by Seth Mrazek. Seth Mrazek was on our stage back in the summer in The Prom as our Principal Hawkins. And he's done some other stuff here in the past as well, before my time here, if I remember correctly. But he is outstanding as Jim. He's got a very unique speech pattern to himself, and he plays Jim very earnestly as someone desperately just trying to understand what he is aiming for. And he's an incredible actor to work with because he's always asking, hey, you got any notes for me, coach? What can I work on? What can I do? How was that?
I heard him ask tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so fun to work with. I love looking at theater as a collaboration. I am the director, but I don't feel that makes me as like the person in charge and making all the choices. In a sense I am, but in the larger sense, I am putting the direction, and they're the ones who are doing all the work getting up here on stage, and what I do doesn't matter if they're not up here. So when they have ideas, when they have feedback, and they say, hey, this part was really fun, but I'm not understanding this. How should I deliver this, right? And then we can play around with it, and then I can come up with ideas, and they can in turn come back and say, well, that doesn't work. What if I tried it like this? Ooh, I like your instincts there. Trust that. And for it to have that full push and pull. And when I could say, ooh, that's almost what I want, take it this direction. To really get to work with them in that sense is a lot of fun. And Seth is really great about taking direction, and he is always wanting to find those ways to improve. Following him, the essay writer is John DeGatta, played by Jeremy Batson, who is new to our stage. And when I talked to Jeremy, getting to know him a little bit, he hasn't done a show since he was in high school. Oh, wow. Which he kind of did as a fun move to pick up the ladies, and I could, I can hardly blame him.
Same with our producer right now.
hey, no judgment, no judgment. Absolutely. That's where I met my fiance, was at this theater. So can't blame him. Yeah. But what he found and what we found as well was their love of the art and really just enjoying getting to be in it. And let me not mess with my microphone.
I
He's
do it
very
all the time.
passionate. He's very passionate about it, and he is from the beginning. He says, "I'm going to be great. I'm going to do a good job. I want to do a good job," and he's having a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
He's got a great voice, a great presence, and he's also wonderful about taking direction. That was one of the things I was looking for in our actors, was that ability to work with it and go with the flow
Mhm.
and make adjustments on the fly and make it that team process. And it's really felt like that in a lot of ways. I've not felt left out to dry by any of them. They've been
Mhm.
stepping up. They've been doing great performances. They're getting really awesome moments of comedy and of drama in this play. It's great to work with them.
Well, and it's a shorter rehearsal schedule, so you really have to have people who are ready to jump in and just go with the flow, go with the chaos, and adapt to it. So if you don't have
Absolutely.
that, you're going to struggle.
It becomes tough.
Mhm.
And to that end, we had so many great folks come out to audition. I could have cast it a number of ways.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy I went with the direction that I did. And you
Mhm.
can always sit back and wonder, but
Yeah.
it's nice anyways. Rounding out the rest of the cast, we have Patty Lee
Mhm.
as Emily Penrose. Emily Penrose, I don't believe is actually based on a true character, but more of an
Okay.
amalgamation of editors that worked with Jim and John throughout this process. So she is that part of the process personified. And Patty's a blast to work with. Patty's a veteran of our theater. She's
Mhm.
been in a bunch of shows. She was in The Importance of Being Earnest
Mhm.
fairly recently. And she's got a lot of experience on our stage and other stages
Mhm.
as well. Her whole family's been involved in this theater.
Yep.
So it's great to work with Patty. We get to work with her all the time. And she is very good at me being more fresh to the theater. She's able to give insights and say,
Mhm.
hey, you have to make sure you consider this. Hey, we have this amount of space, so make sure you keep these things
Mhm.
in mind. So it's nice to have that level-headed, inexperienced
Mhm.
voice in the room. And she does fantastic with the character. I chose Patty, one, because she did an incredible audition, but two, the character that she's playing, there's a lot of similarities to her in her own, work life. As a program director in her job, she
Mhm.
is doing a lot of the bossing around, and that is what this role is. She is the boss for both of these guys. John's essay does not run without her, and Jim is hired by her to fact check the article.
Okay.
She keeps the whole thing moving. And so the play focuses around this essay being published in her magazine, right? It's
Okay.
her magazine that she is the chief editor for. So she's got a lot riding on this, right?
Mhm.
In a time and an age where we are seeing less print and a lot more stuff being put online, focus on monetization and stuff, the weight of that is felt by that character, and you can hear it in
Mhm.
Patty's voice and in her mannerisms. And she, like the other actors, is fantastic and easy to work with and takes direction well. And she's also really good at pushing back and saying, hey, can I try it like this?
Mhm.
Or, hey, this didn't work. Can we try this a different way, right?
Mhm.
Which is a great experience to have. It's nice to get to second guess and to think, right?
Mhm.
To look at other people's perspectives. I really enjoy
So
it.
we're recording this tonight, which is Wednesday. I think the show's coming out soon.
Yeah, fairly soon, I would say. This Friday. Yes,
Yep.
this Friday, January 30th, Saturday, the 31st. Both of those shows are at 7
Mhm.
p.m. and 2 o'clock on February 1st, which is a Sunday.
Okay.
We can get tickets at fentontheater.org,
Mhm.
where you can also get tickets for Blood Relations, which is going to be
Yep.
going up on our main stage in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Blood Relations will be hitting the theater on February 20th. And we've got a lot of good stuff coming up. So
Check the website.
Yeah, if you go to the website, again, like you said, fentontheater.org, we have so much coming up. So many good shows, so many good auditions if you want to come out and be a part of it. I think you've made this very easy for me, being my first interview. I appreciate that, but I think I want to end with like maybe something like on a personal note. What's your favorite thing about community theater?
I think, and I think about this a fair amount. I went to school for theater. I had visions and dreams as a child and as a teenager of Broadway acting, movie acting, and if those opportunities come along, I'm not going to turn them down. But the thing that has stuck with me, and I've noticed it largely in community theater, is that first part right there. It's the community. It's the relationships that you're building, the connections that you're building with the people around you, right? We unfortunately had a little bit of a terrible thing happen this past weekend where we had a flood in our basement. It was a terrible, rough time, right? And the only thing that people from this theater said was, hey, are you okay? How can I help? Right? It's people reaching out. And we do the same for the other folks here. And it's nice to know there are people in your corner and you get to build those relationships here. That's the idea. It's community. And that's what keeps people around. It's nice to see familiar faces, to see you here at the theater. So it's cool. I like it.
I mean, we were here for the whole meet cute with your fiance when that all started. So we've been around
it
for
started
a lot.
here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we auditioned for Byron, and then we the rest is history.
Yeah, basically. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
I know I caught you like at the last second, but I appreciate the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
And break legs this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, my name is Zach. I will be auditioning for the role of Jean Valjean in the straight play version of Les Miserables.